Hello, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of Empowering Intuitives Explored Talk Show. And what a beautiful way to end out this first season is I have some wonderful news to share. So let's share this out and get everybody in here. And I'm so excited to let you guys know a little bit. So the show, starting in February, is going to be picked up by A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. So we will be, expanding a little bit and doing things a little bit differently. But so that is how it goes in the new year, right? So I'm super excited. So thank you all for joining in. Remember, this show is interactive. Please feel free to comment, and we will try to answer your comments as we are live in the show. So we're super excited. So on with the show tonight, I welcome in one of my dear friends, and she is an angel oracle and a psychic medium. She's a spiritual teacher and intuitive development coach. Say that 3 times fast. And this is Dawn Marie Delahunt, Angel Eyes. Dawn Marie, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. It's such a pleasure working with you. And
thank you
well,
so much, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's such a pleasure working with you. And, we're just kindred spirits. And this was such the perfect topic for both of us because, in our spiritual journey and in this journey of life, you and I both have had some really powerful moments where we've had to reevaluate and dig deep and realize and honor our faith. And we're going to talk about that tonight, the power of faith. Good evening, Dawn. Welcome, beautiful. It's so wonderful to see you. In Dawn, I love in your bio, you talk about, your spiritual journey kind of started after you lost a friend in 9/11 and you had this spiritual awakening and you took that pain and that grief and you open that to turn that into your own power, and then you use that to inspire and help others with their innate gifts. So I just absolutely love that about you. So I don't know if a lot of people know that, but it's great. You do a lot of amazing work in your center in Long Island and help a lot of people. And we're gonna talk later. We'll get you to promote a little bit more about what you do.
Thank you.
And all of the amazing things you have kind of coming up now and into the new year. So we got some exciting news for Dawn later, so stay tuned. Tonight we're going to talk about what is faith and what is the power of faith and what does that mean? I think it's interesting, Dawn, when we talk about faith, what comes to mind immediately? So when you hear that word, what do you think comes to mind?
God, angels, like just reaching up. And I got the chills just saying that, reaching up to a power greater than myself, really just reaching up. I see you bigger now.
Uh-oh, I don't know what I did.
that
I'm working on
was
it.
that spirit?
I'm working on it, dear. I don't know. Let me see if I can figure this out.
The power of faith. But yeah, I mean, it's all about, connecting to, and it's also about the times when you lose your hope, you lose your faith. It's about those are the times when you need to lean into it a little more,
Yeah. Well, and I agree with you. I think that it's just a belief in a higher power, and you can put whatever term you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, it applies across the board against all religion. It's just that
Michelle,
belief in.
I'm sorry. It's so funny you say that because that's exactly what I say in my classes. I always say, listen, I'm going to teach you to connect to spirit, to connect to the God of your understanding, whatever you believe, even if you believe in aliens, as long as it's loving, you know what I mean? We just need to believe in something greater than ourselves. So it's so funny how we're so synchronistic with that. It doesn't matter what you believe in as long as you believe in the power of love.
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it's such an innate part of being human is because if we think about, we're here in human form, but we're divine beings, and we still have a part of our higher self in spirit. And we definitely believe in ourselves, in our higher power, in our part of our divinity that's still there. And but you can't live on this earth without that connection. So it just makes sense that it's part of the journey. And then I always love the saying that we're walking each other back home, because
Mm,
that's really what it's about on the earth plane, is helping each other understand your own belief and your own understanding of your faith. And we kind of walk back to our divinity as we move through life. So it it's just an interesting kind of way of looking at it. Hi, Gail. Welcome, my dear. Good to see you. Um, and I like how you said, Dawn. It's rooted in that higher power, that there's something greater than yourself. Like, you just have
yes.
a deeper understanding without even having the details, that something good is there,
Yeah.
looking over, watching over, helping at your highest, right?
Yeah, that reminds me. I'll never forget. I was doing a angel card party, and they were coming in, and I did a little introduction, and then I was reading them one by one. And someone walks in and says, "I don't know how you're going to read me. I don't believe in this stuff," because I was doing angel card readings. And then Spirit just came through me, and it gave me the right words, because I was channeling. I was going back to back with readings, and I got the chills sharing the story because it's just so amazing. But in that moment, I said, "Well, do you believe you have a soul?" And she goes, "Of course, I'm alive." And I go, "Well, we can connect to your higher self, which is your soul, and that higher self can guide you, and I could tune into that to give you some messages and that are for the highest and best for you." And she's like, "Okay." I gave her a reading. Everything was spot on. She goes, "Thank you. I never knew I could pray to myself, or I never knew I could." So it's like, I'm like, if I was at that party all day and I made a believer, because now she has something else to believe in, that power of faith, that power of, something else other than herself. Like, she didn't realize that she could have that connection. And the fact that Spirit gave me, specifics about it,
Yeah.
she believes it now, because I gave her
Nice.
things that validated, you know what I mean? And it's just, having her walk out believing in something was just so beautiful.
Oh, I cannot agree more. When anybody that does psychic readings or mediumship, it's really funny. I almost love getting the skeptics now. I had one the other day, and she got information after information after information, and she was validating the information, but she was still a very healthy skeptic. And I got an email this morning from her that said, not even an hour after she got off of the phone with her reading with me, and they talked about a red Corvette specifically, and they talked about a red convertible over and over and over. And I was like, it's symbolic or it's metaphoric, but they're not getting off of this. And she goes, and it turned out that a loved one had one, and that was their source of joy. And she goes, not even an hour later, I got in the shower, and guess what song came on? Red Corvette from Prince. She goes,
I
and
love the
I'm
way
like,
Spirit does that.
and she says, it renewed my faith in
Mm,
there is something beyond.
yeah.
And it's tangible in this world, because we talked about it, whether she believed that was her loved one there or not. And then boom, they kept saying they're going to validate this, they're going to keep showing you these things that they're talking about, they're going to show you in real life. And it wasn't even an hour later, and they did. And she was just like, wow, like, oh wow. And so that's just really cool stories. And anybody that reads has lots of these kind of stories about it, and it just warms my heart, and it brings me to tears, because it's so impactful and powerful, because they can really begin to trust and believe their loved ones are there guiding them when they know it already. They
Mm-hmm.
already know it, they already have validation coming through.
Yes.
It just
Amazing.
helps them put down that skeptical wall more.
Yeah.
Not
And
completely, but a little bit more.
yeah, I love when we could real give people, some inspiration that there's there's something more, that we don't have to live this regular mundane world, that we can have guidance. I think that's what's most important with faith, is just because a lot of times when things don't go your way, that's when you need the faith the most, and that's when you want to lay down and hide under the covers. you
Yeah,
know
for
and
sure.
and we've all experienced that. I myself, when you get hit one thing after the other, and it's like, and you start in that moment could lose your faith, or just say, why me? And it's like, we need to just, that's when we have to just surrender, and we just have to reach above and really rise above and see the love, and just and sometimes it doesn't happen in a second or a moment or a day. And sometimes we just need to feel what we're going through and feel it to heal it. And then all of a sudden everything lifts. And that's a beautiful thing. Just happened to me
Well,
today.
yeah, for real. I mean, I think that you really, it's having that faith. We can talk about it in those times when things are really dark and bleak, and that sometimes is the hardest. Of course, when things are going really well, we can have we have a strong sense of our faith. But once you fully embrace your connection, and I guess that's the way that they're choosing it, once you fully embrace that, it's like you and I having a conversation, and I can honestly say I have 100% faith that spirit is interacting with me 24 hours a day, whether I'm sleeping and whether I'm learning and guiding and teaching during my sleep. All day throughout my day, they're talking to me, they're navigating me. Those gut instincts that we have, right? I
Yes.
have faith that they are steering me away from things that I shouldn't be experiencing. And I'll give you a simple, really concrete example. Driving to work. Have you ever had that gut instinct that says, don't go that way? Don't go
Hmm.
there. Go this way. And you're like, should I go this way? Should I go that way? Like, me, I'm always second guessing and going, well, but it's faster this way. But they're going, no, go this way. Okay. And when you go that way and you have faith and you trust, you can always find out later. Every time I listen, I find out there was an accident, there was a
Yep.
delay, there was this, there was that. And I bypassed it by honoring that and by
Mm.
just truly believing that I have this divine team working for my highest good, really trying to keep me safe, protected, loved, and supported and guided.
And I think that's so important, and you embrace it, right? And that's what it is. It's embracing it, hearing it, and acting on it, because a
Yeah.
lot of times we hear it and don't act on it. So it's about having complete trust, faith, you know, hope, all together, working together in one, because that's where the magic happens, is when we just trust. Like, I think I was sharing with you earlier how I had a lot of tough things happen to me back to back to back since last Thursday, and well, actually last Monday, and it was a tough week for me. And today I woke up, and I just went in like I said, I went in the shower, I said my prayers, I surrendered. And when I tell you, everything was just so beautifully orchestrated in my day to day, from getting the validation. I got the chills just saying this, to like getting a phone number that was going to lead me. And they're like, oh, the number's 888-777-9991. I'm like, I'm calling this number, like, I mean, it's like, this is where I'm supposed to be. The validation was one after the other. And
Yes.
even in my timing, and I just did what was in the highest and best for me at that moment, and everything worked out. And I was able to take care of me and everybody else all at once. and
Yeah.
and that is the key, because I chose myself earlier in the day to do what I got to do for for my own business, my everything, because I have a day job and I have a night job, and I had some responsibilities to my family, and everything
Yeah.
worked out in the highest and the best. And it's just beautiful when you do that, because we have to take care of ourselves to take care of others too.
Well, and I love that story because, faith is as important to us as air, right?
Mm.
We need oxygen to breathe, to nourish the physical, right?
Can
But
I
faith,
Michelle, those words, I am like, all choked up with that. Oh my God. Faith is important to us as air.
It is because, like,
Profound.
oxygen nourishes the physical, right? We have to have oxygen in order to nourish the physical. And faith nourishes the heart and the soul. And what happens when we feel like our connection to the divine is being crimped off by humanness, and I'm just going to term it humanness, right?
Yes, good
Like
word.
all of the crap that goes along with the humanness. We feel that in our heart. We feel hopeless. We feel helpless. We feel all these things in our heart, and our soul feels heavy. But I love what you did. Self-awareness, you recognized it, and you surrendered and go, okay, I need some help, reinforcements, get in here, help me out. And by doing that, that strengthened the heart and the soul for you to move forward. And by doing that, it also shifts your vibration. It automatically raises that vibration and helps you look and shift the perspective to a little bit more positive. You don't go from 0 to 60, but you can shift it just to a little bit more positive. And then that will start to just manifest more positive, right?
Yes, it's just amazing to see as you follow one thing, it just leads you to the next thing and you get more signs. And then, and that's what's amazing is that when you act on it, more good things to come. And you just it's like you're living on a high. And that
Right.
is a spiritual high when everything's in alignment, and it feels so good. It's that high vibration. And that's where the magic happens. Like, again, like we said before, one thing,
Yep.
it's just amazing because one thing after the other, um, it's just beautiful.
Well, and so many people, though, struggle with if they don't see it, it's not tangible. If they don't have it in the palm of their hand, they don't have faith in it. And it reminds me of, I don't know what movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark or something, when Indiana Jones is at the edge of the cliff. There's nothing in front. You have to take that leap of faith, and then boom, this rock appears. But it
Mm.
looks like he's going to plummet to his death, right? But he just took that leap of faith and stepped. And then the next step, one foot in front of the other. It was so metaphoric. That scene was so profound for me. And I think that was the movie. I'm not even positive. So anybody that knows if this was indeed the movie, please let me know and validate that. But it was like, once you put that, then you put one foot in front of the other, and the rocks to support you are there. And isn't that true for life? And I think realizing, identifying those little things, how profound that they can be. It is the small things, but they're the profound miracles, those little tiny
Mm.
things. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the right movie. Thank you, Gail.
you know, yeah.
I don't know that, but Spirit was saying that was the one. So I always know that it is, but yeah, so I always have to just trust and have faith that they're giving me the right information. But so I want to watch it.
I want to watch it. So was it Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just, I mean, honestly, like sometimes those things hit me in movies because it's so profound.
Mm.
Everything about it. Sometimes you just have to put one foot in front of the other, even if you can't see where you're going. And, I can give you this example. When I had my near death, I had at the time been suffering, like you said, you have so many things happening. I had very traumatic things happening prior to that and afterwards. And not only that, but then I had the physical pain to deal with, the physical limitations, and all of those things. In the middle of trying to be in school full time, I was working
Mm.
2 jobs, and that all abruptly had to stop because I couldn't even physically walk or move or do anything.
Hmm.
So for me, and my mindset all those years ago was about, part of my identity was my ability to make money, to take care of myself, to do all of these things. And when that came to a complete screeching halt, and I mean, I couldn't work for 6 months in physical therapy, 3 days a week for over a year and a half, like just trying to get normal kind of functioning back. And I was feeling extremely hopeless and struggling with, I had a bleed on the brain, and I'm trying to study. Now, talk about headaches and when anybody that tries to study and you have headaches, that's like, you can't do it. And I couldn't will myself to push forward as hard as I tried. And I was in the middle of a master's program. So for me, I kept arguing and yelling at spirit and going, what the heck? How am I supposed to have faith that this is all going to work out? I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. And so the only thing I could do was be in the present. And that was hard because the present was physically excruciating. So I'm like, oh, can I check out? I just want to check out of this reality of things. But you couldn't do that either. So for me, without seeing that, all I could do is go, okay, we're going to go to therapy at this hour. You're going to have to try and find some flexibility with, instead of I'm going to sit down and bump out a paper each day, it's going to be like, you're going to try it. You're going to try it. I had to learn slowly to trust the process, that my body was in charge of it and not my mind or my heart. It was my body was in charge of how things were going to go. And I had to find the power to move forward. And that came from an understanding that there definitely was a higher power at play. And I wasn't even ready to begin with begin to understand or even assimilate my near-death experience and what I had experienced on the other side. I wasn't even ready to deal with that. I had to deal with the physical
first, right?
Yeah. And so, it was years of a process. But honestly, it came down to, I had to sit myself down and go, you're not in charge here right now. Like, your job is to trust that you're going to get better. And however that looks, whatever that looks like, you're going to get better. And that's all that was my mantra.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was the faith that I was going to get better, no matter what it took, no matter how it was going to work out. And I had to let go of all my Virgo tendencies of wanting to control. And it was a very powerful lesson of all of that. It was a very hard one. You can so relate to that, Gail. Thanks, Mindy. Yeah. So, through the process, it kind of like shook me to my core to, now what? If I can just walk again, I remember bargaining, I will trust that you're going to get me moving in the right direction. And then when I could finally get a little bit of like moving without pain, I was like, oh my gosh, yay, yay. Like, I had to have a little bit of encouragement. So they dangled a little carrot and I kept moving forward. But that restored it all for me. And I was like, they're listening. They're showing me. They're doing all of these things. And then, as you said, one thing happens and then the next thing happens. And then boom, I met somebody that was doing Reiki. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm going to get so much better doing this. And then it was just magical. Like after that, one thing after another, when I surrendered and let them just bring it to me and show me how to do it.
Yeah. It's amazing. It just shows your will, your determination, and your faith all in one, because it's like that quote, God helps those who help themselves. Like we have to be a team. We need our spirit. We need our humanness. We need everything, and we have to be an active participant in our manifesting and visualize it and take the opportunities when they're coming. Like, I love when people like, I'm praying, but nothing's happened. And I'm like, well, didn't you have that invitation to that thing? Do you know you could have met a man if you went to that party that you went to? You know what I mean? Like little things like that. Like, a lot of times people are expecting their prayers to be answered in a certain way when sometimes it's not in the same package as you think, because spirit knows what you need.
Right.
Not so it's about really just really doing, like, as much as you had to work to, of course you want it to be instantly better, but you had to take it baby steps. You had to take it one at a time. And you also wanted to dive into, I'm sure it was a magical moment that you dealt with spiritually, but you're like, well, I can't even go there right now, until, you just knew you physically needed to be better so you could do the work that you came back here to do, which is so powerful.
And Gail says she had a similar situation. She crashed and had nowhere to go but rely on God to guide you from that bad place to where you needed to be. Absolutely. And, I think all of us watching this or listening to this have found a similar story, either in their own personal life or somebody that they know, that, it's really inspiring to see how people can shift that. And sometimes it takes stripping things down to the basic core before you're willing or ready to do that. But keep that in mind when you run across somebody that really is feeling hopeless and helpless. And ask your own team to provide the words that they need to hear to help give them that little bit of faith. You know,
Yeah.
it's such a powerful time of year, and I love watching people this time of year, because more times than not, people are kinder to other people.
Mm.
And I know it's a terrible thing that some people are only doing at this time of year, but it renews a faith that I have in humanity. Hello, my dear. It really does help me see the kindness that people really can show, whether they choose to or not, but they can show for other people. And it also is an interesting time when you see people that are not paying attention, and maybe they're in a rush and they're being short and they're being stressed and they're lashing that out. It helps you see where they really sit and where they come from. Instead of being reactive to it, you can appreciate it for where they are. And maybe you might be that voice of love that will show them faith in humanity, you know?
Yeah. I think just having conversations with people that you run into every day, or you're waiting in line, and just say, "How are you? Are you ready for the holidays?" Or, whatever. I think it's so beautiful. Even I was in the store today, and this woman says to me, "Everyone's in such a rush. I just wish everyone would just slow down."
Right? Yeah.
And it's amazing. And then, um I was up and I was doing a return, and I had something, it was taking time. And then someone comes up and it was like, oh, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, it's my fault. I'm the one doing the return. They're doing a great job. I just have a lot to return, so it's just funny how, and they're like, oh, okay. And just that little word brought them peace. Like, because
Yes.
a lot of times you want to blame the employees. It's like, no, they're doing their job great. It's just amazing because everyone shows up in a second of time and makes a judgment, and that judgment may not necessarily be right. Most of the times it's not, especially if it's negative,
Yes.
and we have to give people, places, and things, and a little bit of, we have to allow compassion
Yes.
in this world, and just realize, and especially now, because that person, you know who's taking too much time or whatnot, they're a person too, and they have a family and they have kids. And I remember seeing this, I think, it's one of those videos, whether it's Jay Shetty or that other guy that does it, like they do these videos, and this one says, don't dump your garbage on people. And they showed two typical days, and one day was how, you know there was almost an accident, and he blamed it on him. It wasn't his fault. And then he went home and he was mad because he just got yelled at. Then the guy got yelled at, and then he yelled at his wife. And it showed the
Yep.
spiral effect of how when you lash out on someone, then they lash out on you, and then they lash out on someone else.
Yep.
And then they showed the day of the guy that started the day, handling it. Don't worry about it. Hey, we're okay. There was no accident. We're good. And it showed the total, like, blessings and the beauty and the smiles and the love, and how that day was shifted. I think they did it something like that at The Secret. In The Secret, there's an episode, a little skit of someone like, oh my
Ah,
God,
neat.
I ripped my stocking and all this. So it's really just amazing how, if we just shift our energy or our thought process, and we take a moment and pause before we speak, and pause before we judge, and pause, and like you said, we breathe, right? Just like oxygen, we breathe in that life force energy, which feeds our soul and our minds, and breathe in that faith. I love that. Oh my gosh, that was so profound, Michelle.
Well, it's really interesting that you're telling me this because I never saw that movie. And
The Secret.
yeah, yeah, I mean, I know of it, but I have never saw it. And in my book, I talk about my near death and exactly what you're talking about. They showed me in just a blip of my life review
Mm.
and the ripple effect that you have,
Mm.
the profoundness
Oh, I got the
that
chills.
we have on people through a simple look, a simple conversation, and exactly that, how it ripples out. It is beyond humbling to see both the positive and negative, because remember, we're here on earth with a duality.
Mm.
Your harshness, your shortness, your these things, and how that ripples. And yes, of course, these things are very powerful and they are purposeful for multiple reasons. But when you go back to spirit, you do have a life review and you will see these things. And if it just I just want to I just want to cry right now because it is so overwhelming and so humbling, the effect that people have on you and how you have that on others. And even before, like, this whole lifetime, I was a firm believer that you always pay it forward, you always give it, because even if you don't have, like, people will tell me that you need to be doing this and you need to be doing that, and um with your money, and you need to save. No, like, I have always followed my guidance on giving and giving and giving, because when you are in need, it will come back. I have 100% faith that it will come back when you need it, and in any form that it needs to do it, and I've talked about this. I had COVID last year, and on Christmas Eve I really felt like, oh my God, I think I really might just die from this. And I said,
Oh my
Spirit, if I'm
God.
going to die, take me, because I'm done. My oxygen was 69. I was like, I couldn't hardly get off my couch, and I was like, and they said, you're not going to die. And I was like, well, then send me some flipping help, because this is ridiculous. Like, I had already been suffering for 3.5 weeks. I was like, then send me some help. A dear friend that I hadn't spoken to in several years, I mean, other than commenting on our Facebook posts, she, on Christmas Eve with her family, drops everything, connects through Messenger, and says, what's going on? I felt like I needed to reach you immediately.
Mm.
And I said, girl, I'm in a bad way. I'm like, oh my God, bless you. Thank you so much. And she goes, I got the call, like, from Spirit. And she gave me a reading. She gave me a healing, told me a list of things to do. And she turned me around on a dime. I
Wow.
listened without any hesitation. I listened to what she had to say. And, but I've done that for other people without any expectation in return. If someone needs, I'm there. And that's just part of what we're here to do. But I was in a desperate way, and it was there without a blink. I'm talking within an hour of me saying that, I got a call. And she was in California with her family. Like, so it's just so powerful. We just don't even have a clue how we're so interconnected and how we help each other.
Yeah, it's funny. A friend of mine said, I can't believe you called me. And she said the same thing. She goes, I just said, Spirit, I need help. And she did the same thing you said. And then I go, I don't know, your name popped in my head and I knew I had to call you. So being on
Yes.
the other end of it, that's what happened to me. So it's interesting how, yeah, but the key that I want everyone to hear what you just expressed and what you said was, you asked for help and Spirit gave it to you. And that's what people are not doing, or I'm not doing sometimes, or everyone's not doing, is that when we get knocked down, we wallow and we forget to ask. I don't know how many times
Yes.
my students or colleagues are like, did you ask, did you connect? And I'm like, oh no, like, because and even me, and I know it, I'm a teacher, I know what to do, but sometimes it gets the best of me too, because when it happens, we're human. I'm like, boy, you're really giving me an example to show these people that I make mistakes too, aren't you? you know
It's that pesky humanness that gets in the way
it,
of it
it
all,
it
right?
definitely does, it definitely does.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So, we gave you guys like really great examples about why have faith, right? They're navigating, they're helping you navigate daily life. Like literally, like I give this example too. I was going to see my nephew play college ball, and I hear, take a towel. I'm like, what? Like, what do I need a towel for? I'm on my way, I'm running late, and I hear you need a towel. I'm like, I don't need a flippin' towel. I got a poncho, I got an umbrella, I have like an extra set of clothes. Like, what would I need a towel for? I'm good. I literally don't even get down the road, not even 10 minutes, and my nephew texts, can you bring me a towel? I left mine. And I laughed so hard. I said, no problem, turned around, got the towel, and I started laughing. And I was like, okay, Spirit, is there something else that I forgot? And they're like, yeah, you might want to change your clothes too. And I was like, okay. So I literally changed my clothes and put on boots. And thank God I did, because there was torrential downpour. And I had capris and flip-flops on. I
Oh my
changed to
God.
jeans, boots. So, they're trying to help you, whether you listen or you don't listen, whether you trust your gut instincts. So they're literally in the thick of this humanness with us, okay? It does always happen that way, Elizabeth. It truly does. They're trying to help you navigate. Like, okay, so has this happened to anybody? Maybe you're thinking of a new job and you get a really good gut instinct about the interview or the company, or you get a really strong right? They're trying to help you see maybe that's not a good fit. Maybe that is a good fit. From every single thing, every blessed little thing, I I like this. I always forget my list. I make lists for everything. And I always forget them if I don't take a picture. And then I'm like, okay, what's on my list? And this just happened to me today. And I'm at Michael's and I'm like, what the heck was on that list? Oh my God. I'm like, all right, Spirit, I'm just going to have faith. You're going to tell me what I need. And then they're like telling me, I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even think that was on the list. And I remember adding it then later. But if not, I would have been there going, no clue why I'm here. I know I need to be here, but I don't remember what I need. And so, there's so many aspects of this that you can really utilize this for, right?
You know what's funny, Michelle? When you were talking, it just reminded me of something that happened to me real recently. And I was on the Reiki table. And when you're receiving Reiki energy healing, you're really in such a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I see ET. I'm like, what am I seeing? And then I just hear him say, phone home, ET, phone home.
Right.
And it's funny how Spirit, and I got the chills saying this again. It's funny how Spirit says it to me. And sure enough, I had a missed call from my mother earlier and I never called her back. And that was on Wednesday. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta call my mom back. I got it in the Reiki session, and there was a reason why I needed to call. And I called my mom later that day. And I talk to my mom every day, but I had missed a call. And I called her. She's like, oh, I must have pocket dialed you. So she never even knew she called me. But it reminded me. And I think what's interesting is that I think that Spirit shows up with little riddles or rhymes or ways just so we believe them, that we're not just making these thoughts up. Because how would I think of ET and then get ET phone home to call? And then if I would have just heard call your mom, I'd be like, oh, call your mom. Like I call my mom every day, but they put it in a riddle, I think, to give more power to it. And there was a very important reason why I needed to call.
Yeah.
So, and even though she didn't think she called me, I still needed to talk to her that day. And we had a good conversation about something, you know what I mean? So it's amazing how I think Spirit does that. You know what I mean? Like the little riddles and the little symbols or signs like that, just to do it.
Well, they do it, I think they do that to help you strengthen those intuitive muscles and to allow that information to come through. Because I know personally, I used to filter it going, I'm not telling anybody that. They're going to think I've lost my mind. I call somebody up and say that. And I really held back a lot of information a lot of my life because of that, because I had that reinforced. But that's another topic. But now I just let it all fly. Like
Yes.
literally today I woke up and I went, oh, I gotta call my niece. And so I text her and I said, oh, that baby's keeping you up, honey. I said, you've been on my mind. I said, I'm gonna send you some healing. And my niece is pregnant. And she said, oh, she's like, Aunt Shell, you don't know. Like so she had a really rough night. She was worried. She's like, I think this baby's gonna come early. And she's just so active. I was like, it's all okay. The baby's fine. She needed to hear from me, and it was like she just got up, and Spirit was already, you need to
Yeah.
contact her right away, let her know everything's okay, and this and that. So you just have to trust it and have faith that you're getting accurate information. So I think that they do that so that you'll just say it and people can give you that validation and you can see that it's real. Like that earlier example about the woman that I gave the reading to. She's in the shower and Little
Yeah.
Red Corvette came on and she's just like, get out of here. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So
I think it's important, like you said, you know what? I just say it now. And I love the way Spirit like synchronizes things. Everything's lined up because I just said this to a friend. We have a little group chat and I was reading it. I'm like, why am I thinking avocado? I got to share. I go, maybe avocado is going to help you. I don't know how avocado could help your health right now, but I think you need to get an avocado. And we talked later on. She goes, you don't know. I wanted to get an avocado toast. I've been thinking about avocado. I'm going to go get it today. And I'm like, you know what? And I'm at the point that if something pops in my head when I'm texting or whatever, I just say it now because, it's coming up for a reason. And it's more than just, it's validating her intuition that she needed something that's going to fuel her body, which is a healthy piece of fruit or vegetable, whatever you want to call it. Um,
yeah.
and I think the link here of why Spirit's having us share all these silly things is because with the power of faith is trusting our intuition, which gives us more faith, trusting our visions, manifesting, visualize, like you said, saying that mantra, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I am better.
Yeah.
And changing our language to I am and
Oh yeah.
and just seeing that you having full unwavering faith, even failure after failure, like I'm doing right now with my pregnancy, my fertility journey. I have unwavering faith it's going to happen, and I
Yeah.
am getting roadblocks, but and I have been throughout my life. I started it a long time ago. I'm just finally talking about it. But it finally got me to the point that I'm going forward, I'm sharing what I'm getting, and I have such support around me,
Yeah.
with earth angels around me and with them above.
Absolutely. And I love that you transitioned that right into what are ways that people can improve their faith. And for me, I think the number one thing is learning to trust your higher power, learning to trust your intuition, because that just opens the whole channel to allow the divine to weave in every fabric of your life.
Yeah.
That's and you can do that through developmental circles. I have one. You teach intuitive development.
Yeah.
So many people teach intuitive development, and you may come to my circle and be like, yeah, but you don't do a half-hour meditation. No, I don't. And you may go to yours and you do a half-hour meditation. Like you may find that certain teachers do things different ways that you like, and go with where you're instinctively drawn.
Take what resonates and leave the rest.
Correct.
because
Correct.
you could get one little thing, which is this golden nugget from someone and nothing else. And
Yep.
so I always encourage everyone to go, to continue to seek and learn wherever you're guided, because it's little pieces plus what your connections are that become, helps you find your own truth.
And Elizabeth says, come to her, and you create art. Absolutely. We were just talking about your creativity helps you connect to the
Yes.
divine.
We were talking about that earlier. Yeah.
And
It's
I think
amazing.
prayer, I mean, we have to say maybe that's number one.
Oh, yeah.
I think it all intertwines, honestly.
It does.
It
What
all
did Wayne Dyer
overlaps.
say? Prayer is you asking for help, and meditation is God answering you.
Exactly.
But we
Exactly.
need to listen.
Yeah, both are so powerful. And that dialogue, I like to, I have a way of breaking things down for people to realize. And God spirit, they are these divine beings, but so are we. And we need to remember that. And I listen to a lot of people talk and they're like, well, I don't want to bother them with something so trivial, or I don't want to ask for little things, and I don't want to do those things. But the truth is, they want to help you. You have a huge spiritual team that wants to help you all every step of the way. And when you allow that kind of support that you're desperately craving anyway, you're not going to find it. I'm not going to find that kind of support that I want in you or in outside of me. You know, it has to come from within, because that's the only thing that's constant. And I love the phrase that you can't outrun you. You can't run away from you. You have to deal with you. And
Yes.
your team is with you. I mean, they may have some people swap in and out as you grow and things that you're learning, but your team is with you from the time you come in. They know you the best. They have the best perspective. They have such a unique perception of why you're here and what you're going to be doing and how they can help you see what you can't see. So, and they really understand what it means for you to live your authentic self, and they can help you get there. So when you shift your perspective of, I don't want to bother them, I'm just a puny human and I don't want to ask, to I'm partnering with them and they're
Yeah.
helping me, so I can help more people.
And
Because
it's
really,
those, I'm sorry, go ahead.
it's really about you bringing and anchoring more divine light so that you can send that out and shine
Yeah.
that light and help other people.
Beautiful. Sorry, I didn't mean to interject there, but
No,
I
you're
think it's
fine.
just about those baby steps. Like spirit wants to, those little things mean a lot to us, and it gets us to the next level. So they know when they do those little things, it makes us happy. You know, those little things make us happy. If we're happy, then we're going to be vibrating higher. So they
Yeah.
want to help us with those little things. And, I think it's very important for us to recognize that there's a million angels out there, and they just want they're waiting for us to ask for their help. And
Yeah.
so because they want us to be happy.
And I think that the more, it's like, I hate to say it like this, but they're like, it's like a really good drug, because the more you interact with spirit, the more you want. And uh-oh, we lost Dawn. She'll be back in. So the more you interact with spirit, the more you want of that, and the more you want them interacting in your daily life, right? And it's really helping you then to live your authentic self, anchor more of the divine. Hello, beautiful. And it also helps you live every day in the vibration and the power of love. And that's really something that is powerful for here. So, welcome back, my dear.
I don't know
Um,
what happened.
oh, technology. I was just saying that, it when we do this and it's more addictive, it really helps us live the vibration of love
Yeah.
and embody that and want more of that. And so I don't want to say disconnect from the human world, but we get a different perspective of it. That's the
Yeah.
best way I can say that. Yeah.
It's truly beautiful, really is, when we just um, follow our guidance and trust and just live our life in alignment with spirit.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think people, I really encourage people to really do it more and more, because as they do it, like you were saying, it gets addictive, and it's like, they say that no muscle, when you say no to things that aren't serving you, good things happen. It gets easier and easier to say no. And it's just like saying yes to spirit. The more you say yes to spirit, it gets easier and easier to follow and trust. And all of a sudden you're doing it naturally.
Right.
One more thing I just wanted to add is that I also believe that we are seeing signs all the time. The numbers, we always hear those. I saw the number, or I see it, or I hear a song on the radio, whatever it is. And we're like, oh, it's spirit, it's the angels. And I'm always telling my students, okay, and even for myself, we have to stop and say, okay, who is here and what's the message? Because those numbers can be angels, can be guides, can be loved ones. It's just spirit coming to you.
Yeah.
For a reason. It's about getting that next step and getting that, those messages of what it is. It's not, yeah, it's comforting knowing they're around you, but it's even more comforting listening to their, what is it? What do they want? And why are they coming to me in this moment? Because they're coming to help you in this moment because they have a message for you.
I love that. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. So for all of you listening, here's a really quick, easy thing to do. You know, as soon as I wake up in my day, I start praying, communicating with spirit. And I blanket that term. And it's good morning, what's going on? And they're immediately talking to me about what's going on. Like my niece popped in as soon as I opened my eyes and put my feet down on the floor. It was like, oh, you got to contact her. Okay, no problem. I can certainly do that. And, you know, you get into, I have a habit of starting the dialogue and, saying, good morning, what's going on today? What do I need to know? Then I get into a meditative state so that I can receive what they want me to hear. And that varies depending on my day. It might be a short little meditation, it might be a deep meditation, whatever works. And then I disseminate. So I do my spirit inspirations in the morning, right? And so for me, that's exactly those steps, right? And then as I'm moving through my day, part of my intention is that I'm asking the divine, work with me, talk to me, help me navigate my day, help me find the words to connect to my patients and to the people around me, help me find patience, help me find grounding for the energies, and help me in ways I may not even know. And that's a great one I put out there a lot, like help me in ways I don't even need to ask for because I don't even know what I need to know, type of thing.
Right.
Hello, beautiful, welcome. So that's how I start my day. It doesn't take that long to do those things, but starting your day. And then you be present to listen and to receive as you're moving throughout your day. Like as you're driving and they go, don't go there. Oh, okay, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go this way or whatever. And then at the end of the day, saying your prayer, continuing the communication, whatever words you want to use, and again, going into a meditative state. I ask to receive what I need for my highest while I'm sleeping and learning at the highest level. And, you can say whatever you want as your prayer for the night, as your intention for the sleep time. Ask for that divine protection and healing. I do that every night so that I know I can go. And I sleep like within seconds. I'm out of this body and I am out. I don't have any problem sleeping because I ask for that to be reinforced every single day that I'm sleeping. I go into a deep sleep. Oh, and the next thing I do is wake me at 5:30 a.m. and they will wake me out of a dead sleep. I could snooze it starting at 4, but at 5:30 I'm wide awake. So it's that constant interaction, right? So set that up any way that you choose. I just gave you a bunch of examples.
Yeah, start your day with intentions. It's beautiful. And then end your day with gratitude. Or you could start your day with gratitude. Either
All
way,
of the
it doesn't
above.
matter. It's about being grateful for what we have. A lot of times we keep pushing forward because we are constant. A lot of us are constant achievers or overachievers. And we keep pushing forward, wanting more, and we're not grateful. And if having gratitude really brings you into that place as
Yeah,
well. It's
for
amazing.
sure.
Beautiful, Michelle.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So practice something. So, we're coming up to those New Year's resolutions.
Mm,
So think about moving. You don't have to wait till the new year, but think about how you want to end. Think about this past year. And this is my favorite time of year for a reflection as well. So think about how your faith was tested this past year, how it was strengthened and renewed, how
mm,
maybe it was really challenged. And where do you sit with your faith, with your connection to spirit right now?
yeah,
And think about what your intention for the new year will be.
yeah,
And how are you going to reinforce it? How are you, I'm always about if you do something, try it a different way, try it a different way. I
yeah.
like to put plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G in place, right? So give yourself multiple things to try, to explore. Look at all of this. This is a perfect time to help you set those intentions moving into the
Beautiful,
new year.
Michelle. Beautiful. No, I got the chills because, even I was thinking about the things that I didn't achieve before the end of the year that I wanted to achieve. I wanted to achieve. And there was three things that I wanted to achieve, and I thought I was going to get them before the end of the year. And I got one out of the three, but you know what? I'm grateful for the one, right?
Yes, yes, right? So, guys, so they want you really to try those things. Okay. And remember, our faith is being constantly, continuously
Mm.
renewed, continuous opportunities to strengthen your connection with the divine. And so, without further ado, let's talk about some things that we have going on towards the end of this year. Both Dawn and I have some exciting news about what's going on now and what's coming up in the new year. So, Dawn, this is really awesome. So, you co authored a book that's coming out tomorrow, and
Yes.
Intuitive Speaking Her Truth. You want to talk a little bit about that? That's awesome. I love the cover.
Yes, it's actually a multi-author book. So I'm one of 24 authors through the Art of Grace Publishing. She reached out to me, asked me to be a part of it, and it's been something that since 2006 I wanted to do and I never have done. I think I was talking to you about writing a book, and I've had many
Yeah.
book titles spirits given me that they want me to write, and I haven't sat down to do it. And I signed up. I had a deadline, and it was something. And this the actual physical book. I'm chapter 3. Here I am. And it has to do, the name of the chapter is Baby Soul's Mother to Be and Journey to Get There. And it is about my faith. It's about like living in the moment of me, like connecting, and about connecting with the soul of the baby because she wants to come, and she's given me the strength and the faith, the encouragement. And I have unwavering faith it's going to happen. And yeah, so this book is out tomorrow. It's going to be on Amazon, and better yet, it's going to be at my local peeps. The center is going to be selling it. I'm going to be signing them, so you have it. So and it's, I think, $19.95 at the center. Yeah, so I'm very excited to have
Nice.
that. And I do have classes coming up. I'm doing my angel card workshop and mentorship program. It's a new workshop and mentorship program that I'm teaching, and it starts January 10th. I'm teaching a mediumship program, same thing. It's a 7-week course in coming up in March, and then automatic writing in May. Those are my courses coming up, and I always am live every day on my Instagram and my Facebook. Angel Eyes Dawn Marie is my handle, and I always have the We Are the Leaders of the Light, which you joined me on recently.
Yeah.
Similar to this show, we always talk and share. It's a beautiful thing, and that's on Zooms. I do that once a month, which is started as a way to give back during COVID, and I continue to do free classes on once with a. Sometimes I do them alone, and sometimes I bring on a colleague, and I have a co-host. So it's all just very exciting, and I'm very excited to be launched. And that was one of the things I wanted to be pregnant. I wanted to finish my song, and I wanted this. And I'm like, so as you were saying, hey, try something different or try a different way, Michelle. I heard another way I could try something that I didn't get. So you just gave me, by saying those words, try something different, I got a little ping. So it's amazing when
Ah,
we ask what happens.
that's so awesome. I'm so excited for you. And, it's just beautiful to watch you living your passion and, helping so many along the way. So I'm so, so thrilled, and so many exciting things coming for you in the new year. So we can't wait to hear all about that. I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. And so her website is angeleyesdawnmarie.com. So check out everything that she has going on and on her news and events there. That's awesome. And guys, for me, of course, I have my book, Empowering Intuitives Explore. This is what our talk show is named after, this book, and it is for sale on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles, a lot of different platforms. You can go to my website, empoweredwellness.org. I have that up, and so my book is up on the website, and I also have t-shirts for sale, and t-shirts for my show Medium in the Raw, which I will be doing more local events coming in the spring. And this show, in January, it will stay on this Tuesday night, and then February we're going to have it on Tuesday night the first week of the month, but then we're flipping over to Thursdays, where we are partnering with A1R Radio and Moonstruck TV, and the show is going to be half-hour shows then for the next year. So look for a lot of different promo, and I'm going to mix it up for those of you that used to watch me on Periscope. It was a lot of teaching episodes, and sometimes it was readings and a variation of all kinds of things. So the show is taking a little bit of a turn. Occasionally I may have guests, but I'm also our co-host, but I will be having callers from time to time too. So you can call in and I can ask Spirit some questions. So I'm super excited about the dynamics that the show will be taking in the new year. So super excited about that. And I am writing again, so that's my excitement as well. So we both have a lot of really good things going on. Of course, I am still teaching my intuitive development circle on Monday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this month, for any of you that are listening that are interested in exploring your own intuitive abilities, I offer it free for the month of December. And so just check out my website that has the link, my Facebook page here, my Facebook Rev.Dr.Michelle Walker Facebook page, and so all the promos there and the links. So please feel free to come in, check us out, see what we're all about, and if it resonates with you. But you got to take that first step and start somewhere. So maybe the new year is where it's going to start for you. So I thank you guys so much for your love and support, and this past year for the show, and it's just blossoming and growing, and I couldn't be more grateful for each and every one of you as part of my journey. Thank you, Dawn, so much for coming in. It's always a pleasure working with you, and I just love you to death.
Love you too. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I have to close this show with a saying that came from fellowships. And we did this in my group, and I actually made us little totes that says, "I smell God." And that whole saying, let go, let God. When you see something, you're like, smells like God intervened here. Remember, that's what this show happened. The God intervened in multiple ways in here tonight, and Spirit helped bring that information forward. So
absolutely,
let go, let God, and
have a little faith.
Have a little bit of faith to carry you through this beautiful journey. So much love to you all. Namaste.
Namaste.